It's a running joke in our family that my brothers and I come from a long line of gamblers, whores, and thieves. It's even rumored that my great-grandmother ran away with the circus when she was young, and I'd like to imagine that she was this glamorous trapeze artist flying gracefully through the orange glow of the circus tent, 50 feet off the ground with no net, but knowing my family, she was likely part of the clown crew. And I'm picturing like those vintage black and white photos of the circus clowns whose makeup is like the stuff of nightmares, That would make perfect sense. My grandfather on my mom's side was a good-looking dude when he was young and in his prime. I only met him once. He was much older then. He was a self-admitted drunk, a gambler, a charlatan. He had many wives, so there's likely some good-looking cousins out there that I haven't met. He married my grandmother when they were young. She was a saddle maker. Didn't end well. She eventually married 4 different times, and her final husband was crushed to death in a rollover car accident. And she never remarried after that. She was tough lady, and damn creative, always very, very entertaining and animated. She got her bachelor's degree when she was in her 70s and eventually died due to complications from Alzheimer's, which was a sad thing to see. My grandfather on my dad's side fought in World War II against the Nazis and received multiple military awards, including a Purple Heart, a Bronze Star for meritorious service, which I keep with me even to this day as just a reminder of him. He was a great dude, somebody I really respect. A responsible guy, a shrewd businessman. His wife was, my grandmother, of course, a thick-headed woman and was a judge for a number of years. And she passed away a few years ago at the age of 92. So she lived a long life. Why do I tell you this? Because we're made from the stuff that we come from. These were colorful, interesting people. As deeply connected to Southwestern culture as I am today, I don't think I have any immediate family that lives out east. Not that we have anything against it. It's just this is where the heart is, right? And I feel their influence is rooted into the themes and style of my art. I love to paint like scrappy heroes who face off against these outlaws. I can identify with both. These nomads that live in a corrupt world where women are women and men are men. I'm all about that. Life is savage, unpredictable. It's a son of a bitch. You just got to deal with it. Too many soft people in this world as far as I'm concerned. So I put a touch of fantasy and adventure into my work. It's salted in there someplace and then baked into a style I like to call neo-pulp or Western fiction or something like that. It's what I'm into right now. If you like that kind of stuff, slap the like button. It's much appreciated. And if your life is perfect, okay, I'm here to offer some perspective and level that out a bit. Okay, you can subscribe to Dirt Capsule Studio because I'm going into this full-time artist phase late in the game, which means that I'm bound to face some painful realities that will slap me in the face like a raw steak, but I'm a sucker for impossible goals, so. There's still more detail that I'd like to add into the background here. I'm not crazy about the Switchman having such a ghostly look, and those brights really stand out so much. I don't want it to pull away from the main character. So I'm going to use this as an underpainting, add a little more color, and bring the values down a little bit. I will be adding a few other details in here, maybe some lit windows in the background. I want to put the silhouette of an engineer inside of there looking out. You can see somebody in there. I like these characters that are kind of off in the background that have their own story. If you're an artist and you're looking to Joel Osteen your connection with the divine spirit into a manifestation of a wealth and prosperity. In today's market, wealth comes from defining who you are and niching down to something identifiable. That's where you'll find notoriety. If you can hang in there, if you're tough enough to stand up to the know-it-alls and the naysayers and not let the world, your family, your friends, stuff your square ass into a round hole and waste your precious time on crap that isn't your calling, just look inward. Look inward. Art is a reflection of who we are, but also who we're becoming and who we want to be. If you don't like where you are right now, or you don't like where things are going, let your art light the way into something better. If you're not an artist and you appreciate those who are, just remember, garbage in, garbage out. Are you watching and listening to mindless, soulless, computer-generated crap, or is it an artist who's connected to your soul and who has your better interests in mind? Okay, there are dark artists I vibe with and some who make me feel good, like their work brings me home. I feel like I can step right into their paintings. I feel the hot and the cold and the hard and soft of their work. It enhances reality to me almost like a drug. Frank Frazetta's work is like that. You can step into a story within the image and you can feel the moment. And I like landscapes and portraits and fruit baskets and all that as much as the next guy, but it's not my thing, okay? Because those feel more like an exercise than an experience. Personally, I'm not a fan of these colorful scribbles. I'm not into soup cans or a banana taped to the wall or any of that. I'm a storyteller. One of my inspirations among many is Norman Rockwell. Aside from being an amazing artist, it should be rock star. Norman Rockstar. As an artist, this man could tell a full story in one image. It's just amazing. AI can't do that shit. Not yet anyway. AI can give you some beautiful soulless images, right? But it can't do that. Not yet anyway. You can't tell a story in an image with, rich subtext. I could go deep into this, but I'll save that for another thesis, another time on another video. For now, I'll just say this. I'll never be a Rockwell or a Pyle or a Cornwell if you're familiar with them, but I can be a kick-ass Ben Jewell if I believe I can. Okay, if I can believe that I can. And who will that be? Who will that be? A dude in Phoenix who loves the beach. And there are no beaches in Phoenix, but I love the beach anyway. I love the grit and the sweat. I love the smell of the pastures and the summer rains rolling off the Arizona desert, the smell of oiled leather and rusted metal. I guess I'm big into smells. I don't know. A guy who's growing older, but still a child, and I will be until I'm lifted away from this existence to awaken in a new reality. And what I leave to this mortal illusion, as I call it, the people I've met, my family and friends, when they are gone, what's left is my words, my music, my films, my art. That will be Ben Jewell. And that's what I believe I'll be. In addition to that lineage of gamblers, whores, and thieves I was talking about earlier. The clowns with crazy stories of my own, which I have many, and I'll share those in later videos. But for now, how about you? What does your art bring to this life? It's a good question to ask. Or better yet, what can your art help you become that's better than what you are today? Share with us what you're working on. Share with us what you're about in the comment section of this video, along with suggestions on future videos. I haven't been posting much lately, and I really apologize for that, but I promise I'm working to change that if the algorithms will abide. One last thing. At the risk of sounding like a know-it-all, great art comes from what we feel, not what we think. So don't get stuck in the spin cycle of overthinking the next move. And you know what move I'm talking about. Your heart, your gut, instinct is there as a conduit to spiritual wisdom, and it's smarter than you think. So don't be afraid to let your emotions decide when your brain has you paralyzed. Can you relate? And that's about all I got. I hope you enjoyed this time-lapse painting. It's an 18 by 24 inch oil on canvas I call Fuse. We'll offer prints here in the near future, so stay tuned for that. And just thank you so much for spending this time with me here today. I really look forward to sharing more with you here in the future, and maybe one day talking to you in person. That would be really awesome. Thanks, guys. Until next time, know yourself better than you know anyone else.